Hey guys, this is Dave with Gazaudio, and I'm pretty excited because I have the brand new Snowy Night USB DAC by AFUL, and this is AFUL's first entry into the dongle market. So that's pretty cool, but I'm also excited because I haven't had too many USB DACs come across my review table lately, so I've been kind of missing it. And that was how I got my start on this channel. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm even more excited to share my experience and just my overall thoughts on the AFUL Snowy Night. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. As far as what's included in the box, it's basically what you see right here. We have the Snowy Night USB DAC, of course. It also comes with either a Type-C to Type-C cable or a Lightning to Type-C cable, depending on which one you choose at checkout. I have the Type-C to Type-C. The device itself is quite simple. On the bottom, it has both a 3.5 single-ended and 4.4 balanced output. And then on the top, a USB Type-C input. On the side, you have a volume rocker. And then on the front of the device, there is an indicator light that basically changes colors depending on what audio codec it's being sent or what you're listening to. It's priced at $99. And on the inside, we have dual CS43198 DAC chips, which is the same chip that's used in the Moon River 2 Ti, the AU Yuki, the KA5, and many others. So it is a fairly commonly used DAC chip. Now, at 32 ohms, it gives you 300 milliwatts of power out of the 4.4 balanced output and 140 milliwatts out of the 3.5 single-ended output. But what's really cool is that it gives you 4 volts RMS of level output out of the 4.4 in high gain, and even in low gain, it still gives you 2 volts RMS out of the 4.4. And then out of the 3.5, it gives you 2 volts RMS in high gain and then 1 volt RMS in low gain. So it's not bad if you have some full-size headphones and you want to drive them with this. And I will talk more about that in the sound segment of the review. Now, as far as changing gain modes, all you do is basically you hold the volume up and volume down at the same time. And then as far as audio codecs, it supports up to 32-bit PCM and DSD-256. The design and build is very nice. I like the attention to detail with the little snowflake design on the top half of the face of the device, and then the indicator light is shaped like a snowflake. So I think that's a nice touch as well. The build quality is very good. The housing has an all aluminum alloy build, so it's very light, but it also feels quite robust, so it should hold up perfectly fine with normal use. The USB cable is also very nice. It's definitely a higher quality cable than I'm used to seeing with other dongles in this price bracket. I love the braided sheathing and the chrome finished connections. And I know based on some of the marketing material, they wanted to include a nicer cable, not just nicer looking, but also a better built cable as well. And I think they definitely did achieve that, and it looks really good with the device as well. So it's not only a good looking device, but a well-built device. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the sound. Now, one other thing I failed to mention was that as far as power efficiency, this does seem to be pretty power efficient. I didn't notice any excess battery drain with any of my devices, and it seemed to perform about as well as the Moon River 2 Ti, the M3 Mark II, which is very, very good. Now, as far as its overall sound presentation, it's basically linear. It might lean just a little warm, but based mostly on what I'm hearing, it's kind of just sitting right in the middle, comfortably right between musical and clinical, because I didn't really pick up on any coloration or tinting of the sound with any of my headphones or IMs, which is great. They were all basically able to retain their own sound signatures. So its overall tonality is very balanced from the bass through the mids all the way into the treble. It maintains quite a neutral and natural tonality throughout, and it never comes across as overly dry or analytical either. It also provided generally good detail levels for this price range, and I will get more into comparisons in a bit, but it's very good and it's competitive when I compare it to other dongles in this price range. And as far as its dynamics, it's good not just with my IMs, but actually with most of my headphones as well. It did seem like it was having to work a little harder with some of my headphones, but for a device this size, I have to say I was still really impressed. And I remember thinking the same thing about the Moon River 2 Ti. Now, it's not quite going to be able to really compete with some of my other more powerful portable desktop devices with some harder to drive full-size headphones, but it will compete with most of my other USB dongles, so that's pretty awesome. But with IEMs, that's where this little device really impressed me, because it gave me almost everything that I look for in a dongle. So we know it's linear, we know it's transparent, we know it can reproduce instruments and vocals naturally. We know it has good amounts of detail levels and dynamics, but where does that put the Snowy Night in terms of the competition? Well, up to this point, my most used dongles have been the Hibi FC6, Moon River 2 Ti. I do also listen to the Yuki M3 Mark II and the M4 occasionally, but to be honest, the M4 does have a little bit of an issue with it not having enough note weight, and it can sometimes sound a little bit thin in its presentation. I did not have that problem with the Snowy Night, however. It was right up there as far as its overall presentation with the Moon River 2 Ti, in my opinion. And again, as far as its general tonality. I would, however, maybe give a slight edge to the Moon River 2 Ti for its detail retrieval. It seemed like it was just a little more resolving. And then the FC6 is still my most used USB DAC because it has such an engaging and incredibly natural and just a unique sound because of the R2R architecture. I would probably say that the closest USB DAC that I have in this price range that provides about the same performance would be the Yuki, because it has a very similar presentation in that it's basically linear, mostly uncolored, it's natural, and its detail and dynamics, again, seem to be about on par with the Snowy Night. That being said, the Snowy Night gives you 300 milliwatts out of the balanced output compared to the Yuki's 160 milliwatts. Now, the Dawn Pro is still my top value pick because of its $49 price. However, I do feel like the Snowy Night is an excellent value in terms of power output and just pure sound performance for $100. And it is now my top pick at $100. So that concludes my review of the AFUL Snowy Night. If you're new to the Gazaudio channel and you like our videos, please take a minute and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to go a step further, you can also support us through our Patreon. I'll be sure and leave a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this review. Please like this video. Please share this video. I hope you have an awesome day.